Hello and welcome back to the Custom Showcase. Today we are taking a look at Transformers Ascension Season 1 Megatron. This was the most popular choice for the next installment of the showcase. And I know that a lot of people have been very interested to see how he came together, get a closer look at him. And I know that some people have probably wanted to make their own, so I hope that this goes some way into helping with that. And I'm definitely not kind of Chrome Tyranno kind of levels of customizing. Like, I'm just an amateur and I make mistakes, so I'll take you through how I made this guy. The base body is Dark of the Moon Voyager Skyhammer. The head and the fusion cannon are from War for Cybertron Megatron. So all in all, like, he's not really that different from Skyhammer. All like the dark greys and the whites are the same. The only real repainting I did on him was on the little shoulder pads there and there, where there were Autobot symbols, and I obviously had to cover that up. And also the red detailing on the cockpit and on his lower arms there. Otherwise, it's pretty much the exact same colour scheme. He is an homage to Transformers animated Megatron, being that he turns into an attack helicopter and having a lot of similar kind of colour scheme bits here and there. This isn't the first Megatron that's been done with this base figure. I have seen a bunch of other ones which inspired this one, done by various other customizers who have years more experience than I do. I'm not going to show the attack helicopter mode because it is so similar to Skyhammer that it's not really worthwhile. I've also kind of forgotten how to transform him, and this brings me to one of the issues with this figure, in that he is technically a headmaster. Of course, I only found out after doing all the surgery that he can't transform with his head on. So that has to be removed during conversion. If you are keen to see the pictures of the helicopter mode, I'll put a couple up here, maybe like stills from the episode where it appeared, or some previous photos I've taken before. Speaking of the head, I should probably talk about the modifications I made to this guy too. So the head, as I said before, is taken from War for Cybertron Megatron, and that took a lot of surgery because Megatron's head, while it does have a screw hole on the back there, it is basically redundant because the head was glued together in two pieces, and in a very awkward way as well. So removing the head from the original figure took a lot of surgery, and then we had to fill in the gaps that have been left behind. You can kind of see like the split there. I'll put a close-up of his head like here so you can take a good look at that. We had to fill in some of the gaps with some modelling putty just to make it look all nice and smooth, and then the head had to be repainted to match the body and just to clean it up a bit because it did look a bit knackered after going under the knife. The new neck joint was another thing, because Skyhammer's existing neck joint wasn't compatible with Megatron's head. For those of you who have kind of taken apart a Megatron, a War for Cybertron Megatron, you'll know that he's kind of on this mushroom peg swivel. It's not a ball joint, so that required a bit of surgery on the inside of the head, and then an entirely new neck joint, which I believe I made out of an old coat hanger for it to get on there. The other modification I made was the fusion cannon here. Again, taken from War for Cybertron Megatron. This is not attached by a peg or anything, it's attached by magnets. You've got two little magnets there, and then the two corresponding ones on his arm. The way that it's kind of lined up on his arm means that the MechTech post here is not usable anymore. However, the other arm, you can still use that. It's very simple. All you do, line up the magnets, and it just sits on like that. It's not the strongest connection, it's strong enough to film with, but it's very easy to just kind of knock it off like that. So a lot of people will be wondering why I changed this Megatron into Make Toys Ride to Decepticon for Season 2. The last time we saw this Megatron was at the start of Season 2, and then between that and Episode 3 he changes into the Make Toys Ride to Decepticon figure. Part of the reason was that while this is a very cool looking figure, it's not the best for animations. The legs in particular are very weird. They got some very strange bends in them, which do kind of collapse quite easily. They're not the strongest either. Obviously the head, as I mentioned before, having to take that off for every transformation will get a bit tedious. The fusion cannon being quite loosely attached on there was another factor. And also his height. To illustrate this, here is Transformers Prime First Edition Optimus Prime, and while you can't really see it from this angle, he is marginally taller if you're measuring from like head to head. If you ignore like the shoulder pads here, they're about the same height, but he is not eye level with Megatron, and I did want a taller Megatron. I think Megatron being taller than the Autobot leader is a lot more intimidating. I kind of prefer it to them being like equal. It gives Megatron a bit more kind of power and status over Optimus or Treadshot or whoever. And just in general, Ride to Decepticon looks really cool, and he's very fun to like animate with and can do some really strong balanced walk cycles. So there we go. This has been your look at Transformers Ascension Season 1 Megatron. This is his upgraded form. I really hope you've liked this little showcase of him, and it's kind of you know, if you feel like you want to try and do this custom yourself, it's kind of giving you some inspiration. In terms of actual preparation for like customizing it, I didn't really do that much. The only things that I repainted were the head and the two little shoulder pauldrons and the red bits here. And the only thing I resprayed with a base coat was the head, just because it needed it. Everything else I just painted straight onto the plastic, and it has held together really nicely. The other thing I did was just apply some varnish to the head, just to protect that a little bit more. I don't think I did any on the windows. I might have done, but it wouldn't have been like a spray paint. It would have been a just literal paintbrush like application for that. He's a very simple custom in terms of how he looks, because he's not all that different from Skyhammer, but the only complicated bits were the head. That's if you want to use that head, you're gonna need to spend a lot of time with him under the knife. So I hope you've enjoyed this. In the top right corner there will be a little poll on which figure you would like me to cover next in the custom showcase, so make sure you vote in there. Let me know in the comments what you think of this one, what you think of this Megatron, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Take care, and bye bye.